she would help anybody. I mean, do whatever needs to be done, you know, whether it's help or achieving their goals.
Just full of joy, full of happiness.
Isabella makes people want to do their best.
She is a student who is incredibly respectful, not only to teachers, but also to her students, but then also to our school as a whole.
My name is Isabella Walker, and this is my choice story.
We met in college, started dating, and we've been together for 37 years. And we were pretty well entrenched in Mount Horeb Church in our neighborhood. And you know, we've been led to many things in our lives, and I think we were led to an adoption.
Wanted to increase our family. We have Aubrey. He is now 27. I was always interested in the culture in Guatemala.
All right, here in Antigua.
We were in the city, you know, beautiful children selling pencils and fruit in the middle of busy streets, buses packed full inside and people on top when we went to Antigua.
Okay, so now it's recording. See, I can tell too because the red light's on. Right now, just pause it.
Oh, okay.
All right, today's the big day. There's Aubrey. He's waiting. There's Mommy. She's waiting.
What time?
We watched from my hotel lobby that was elevated and watched her come across the street. Her foster mom was carrying her, and just when she walked in the door, we just gave her foster mother a hug, and we got Isabella, and she needed a little TLC. We got her.
Hello. Say hey to Aubrey. Say hey to Aubrey.
Move over just a little bit.
She cried the whole first night, and we were each thinking on our own without mentioning it.
So what are we getting into?
Should we rethink this?
She was up all night.
All night.
You know, it's amazing to have another child, and she's just a child of God. I mean, she's just beautiful. She's amazing. She's just come a long way, and we're proud to have her.
They knew who I was, even though they didn't know what I looked like, but they felt like they just knew me and that I was supposed to be a part of their family. It's always been like a very sacred thing, and it almost made me feel safe that I've always been a part of the family, even though I wasn't with them for 8 months.
These are some pictures, actually. I think a couple of these are before we got there, but it's her foster mom holding her. And from my understanding, basically Isabella most of her time was spent in a crib, sucking a bottle. So my wife alluded to, we had a lot of TLC to give her and a lot of I guess I shouldn't say cleaning up, but just getting her, you know, to sit up at 8 months, just little things like that. But when we did finally get her home, I mean, she thrived. She was just amazing.
I mean, if I wasn't adopted in Guatemala, I mean, I'd most likely be working to support myself without an education. So having that second chance and having the resources and the opportunities that I have today I'm super thankful for that.
So I actually met Isabella 10 years ago. I was her first grade teacher at another school here in Lexington County. And as the year went by, she opened up and just blossomed into this beautiful young lady, just full of joy, full of happiness, just was an encouraging friend to others in the class. So a lot of the morals that I grew up with was honesty, to always respect others and respect adults, and just be kind to everyone. Because you never know if someone's having a bad day or what they're going through, what their home life is. So maybe even a smile could change their whole day.
She's okay in her own skin. She's a big confidant to her friends, very well loved. She's just mature and wise beyond her years.
You know, we had her in public school to begin with, and then we put her in private school after first grade. Smaller surrounding, you know, probably gained a lot of confidence.
She went to a high school here in town, and then it was her choice. She heard about ALA. She wanted to go out ALA.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to American Leadership Academy, Lexington. This has been a long time coming, and we're so thankful for the trust that you've given us to take care of your kids in a moral and wholesome environment.
The American Leadership Academy was built here in the Lexington area because there was a need in the community, and our community wanted something different. We have a lot of students that come to us from homeschool. We have kids that come to us from private school, and then kids that come to us from public school as well. The first time that I met Isabella, I was pleasantly surprised by her maturity level. She has a confidence about her that is not seen often in high school students. A lot of our numbers as far as enrollment are in our lower grades, especially opening the school. You're not going to have a ton of juniors and seniors that come over the first and second year.
But going to ALA, it had a lot of the same morals I grew up with. So having that almost discipline in a school and them enforcing it, I felt like I could get a better education that way.
Well, the vision is learn, lead, change the world. But the deeper part is our mission statement. And that is, in support of the family, provide the best educational experience to as many students as possible in a moral and wholesome environment. Our society is going to be successful based on the fact that families are successful.
So one thing that sets us apart, the first thing that you will notice when you come in is that we have school uniforms. And that is huge when it comes to classroom management. That's huge when it comes to really presenting ourselves as a unified front. The other thing that you'll notice is that our students aren't on computers all the time. We are not a one-to-one school. We try to do more paper and pencil, but for the most part, our students are reading books, they're using textbooks, and they're writing notes with pen and paper. So that's another big difference that you'll see.
Our approach to education is that education's somewhat simple, and the basics of reading and writing and arithmetic are still true, and that you don't have to reinvent that. But you do have to have discipline, and you have to be able to have fundamentals. And so when we have the kids in uniforms and we have the kids without cell phones, it eliminates those distractions so that you can really do the basics. And that way, that environment creates an opportunity for them to learn.
We like to give the children the ability to learn in an environment that's comfortable for them, but also in an environment that puts boundaries. So things like getting rid of cell phone usage in school, not having lockers, prevent, bullying or harassment in the locker hallways. We like to provide a sense that is safe for students.
Our culture really reflects on our RAISE values, and our RAISE values are respect, accountability, integrity, service, and excellence.
I think a lot of schools have values, and a lot of schools have kind of a motto or whatever it is. But the difference, I think, at American Leadership Academy is that we actually do it. That it's part of our daily, our weekly, and our monthly plan. And so when they go into math, if that month is integrity, they're talking about integrity in math. They're talking about it when they go to history. They're talking about it when they're in English class. And so that value that we have throughout the month really is incorporated in all aspects of our curriculum.
We try to use it in our discipline structure, in our structure in sports, things like that. Everything we try to do goes back to the RAISE values. And what our mission is to build a moral and wholesome environment. And we support the parents in doing that by providing an excellent education.
And that's something that we really try to do at ALA is have our students not only see the RAISE values on our walls, but also incorporate them into our academics, into discipline, into our school culture, and really have them take ownership of those RAISE values. And that's where students like Isabella come in. She is a student who is incredibly respectful, not only to teachers, but also to her students, but then also to our school as a whole. She always holds people accountable for doing their job. You see that in her role in student government. And she holds me accountable as well as her leader of the school. She follows up with me on things on a day-to-day basis, which is very, very helpful. The integrity, she's just a well-rounded individual that students and teachers look up to. The service piece, she's very, very involved, both outside the school, in the community, and here as well. And then excellence, just a very academic-driven young lady, and just has tons of leadership potential that we're seeing here.
After the first 6 months last year, she's basically just dove in. And it just kind of blossomed from there. And she also plays soccer, and they had a really good soccer team this past year for her first year of school. And she's just really done real well there. I think it's been amazing.
At ALA, our raised values are very important, not only in the school building, but also across the full athletic spectrum. We make sure that our coaches implement our raised values to our student athletes on a daily basis. Isabella makes everybody better. She makes them happy. She is a role model not only for the students at this school and her role as a student leader, but also with athletics and on her team with our girls soccer team. Isabella makes people want to do their best. And when you talk to her and listen to her story and her background and her journey to where she is today, you know that she has a bright future, that whatever she chooses to do, she's going to be successful just because she's going to work and she's going to make it happen.
My son, Eli, he was part of another team, and so we were able to see them at least play semi together. And I didn't think a whole lot about it until he came home and he said, "Dad, there is this girl." Okay, here we go. And he said her name is Isabella, and she's beautiful, and she's very smart, and she's very kind.
She's always got a smile on her face at all times. Doesn't matter where or when. She's a very good leader, but she's quiet. So you have to talk to her to know that she's a good leader. She's always wanting to do better for the school or whoever she's around.
In this day and age, the culture is more of an I culture than a we or us or team culture. And ALA, with our raised values, we want to get back to an old school mentality where we want to promote good sportsmanship. But at the end of the day, these are student athletes. They practice to play, they play to win, and that's our expectation, is that we're going to be competitive, we're going to win games. But at the end of the day, we want the other teams to know that we do it the right way, that we care about what we do, and that we want to be good sportsmen on and off the field. And her work ethic, her smile, her positive attitude is what we want to promote here at ALA.
I absolutely love everybody here. I've always been comfortable at ALA. It's so much more structured, and there's disciplined people. I'm able to share my morals and values with everybody here, which has been really great. Through ALA, we had our student government period together, and we just grew a friendship from there.
Student government is in charge of building the culture here at school, start a lot of traditions that students will do for years to come.
Attention, National Honor Society members, our first meeting is today after school in Miss Campbell's room.
When you're in student government, everyone's looking at you and for you to be an example to others. When I got to ALA, it was a new school and I thought I could make a difference. A lot of people didn't know what the school was about, if we would have traditions the first year. I tried to go in and take an initiative to make those things happen and to make almost like a student life and students heard and their voices heard.
She took ideas that she had and ran with them, and she did it in a way that was very professional. And she would sit down with me almost weekly and say, these are things that we want to see happen at our school. These are things that we need to see. These are traditions and cultures that we want to start.
I ran for student body vice president and I got the position. And then this upcoming year, I ran for student body president, and my good friend came to me and was like, I know you've been talking about running, and I think I want to run too. So president of her race, we're both friends competing against each other. Something I was really scared about because she is my friend, and she's also a really difficult competition. She's pretty great.
It was fun to see them at lunch campaigning. Bryn had pink stickers that she was giving out to everybody. Isabella was walking around with donuts. She's really done a great job getting to know all of the students, middle school and high school, and get her name out there and just build trust with a lot of students so they trust her.
whoever wins or loses, I'm going to support her and she's going to support me. And I feel like that really, really helped our competition. I lost by 25 when I heard that I got the position. I went to her and hugged her and congratulated her and told her that I'm so glad that you stepped out of your comfort zone.
Hey everyone, my name is Isabella Walker and I am your new student body president. I just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who helped me become student body president. It means so much to me. I believe I am a great leader because I like to motivate and inspire others with my positivity and determination. My favorite leadership quote is by John Quincy Adams, and it states, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Thank you everyone and have a blessed day.
Student government is important because it's getting involved not only in our school, like the prom, homecoming, dances. It's more than that. It's doing fundraisers, like for Mission Lexington that we've really been connected with. Creating a community where ALA is a source of that greatness we're trying to provide. Our charter school in general is improving the lives of our students. And I think a lot of us are blessed to be here today.
At ALA, it is very cool to see leadership play such a big role, especially with community service.
So LLS is the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Our mission is to find a cure for all blood cancers, but help those patients and survivors continue to thrive. And we raise as much money and awareness in the community as we can to hopefully find a cure for blood cancer. We were looking for students in our community and had a mission connection to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And so Isabella has a cousin who was diagnosed with leukemia when he was a child and has since recovered and is a survivor. And then she also actually lost a family member to a blood cancer a couple years ago. And so she was doing it in honor and in memory of those two family members.
Realizing that some families might be going through the worst thing they can imagine, and another family could be going through and being thankful for getting through this disease. So raising money to find a cure for leukemia and lymphoma was a big part that I wanted to be a part of.
And so you compete against other students to be Student Visionary of the Year, to raise the most money. And she had a team of 8, and she kept in touch with people through Zoom, through phone calls, through text, encouraging. We would have little, it was a 6-week, and we had incentives like each week to do things.
I went to different restaurants and businesses and reached out through email and letters and phone calls asking if they would support me and this cause for raising money.
She did that apart from everything else, and she decided that's what she wanted to do. And that's all she focused on for quite a while that was going on. I could tell that it was out of the pureness of her heart and not just she was just doing it for a grade or to check it off the box.
I was kind of in charge of getting some of the businesses to donate. And it just, especially the last week, I mean, we were actually a little behind our goal. The way she just kept, all of us kind of kept at it. And she just said, hey, let's make this thing work, to her team members. And it was an experience, tough experience, but she'll never forget the experience she had doing this.
She is determined. Once you put something in front of her, she is not going to give up. She's going to work hard at it and give it her best.
The week before, we were only at 20,000. So I didn't think we were going to reach our goal, but we never gave up. We just kept going and kept pushing to the very last second of the fundraiser, and it paid off. And we raised $37,000 at the end of our 6 weeks on May 3rd. We raised over $100,000 altogether with all the different teams. A lot of research now is for adults, and that research and trials don't work on children. All of that money we were raising was going towards trials and research for children's cancer.
By doing this program, it's definitely a student leadership opportunity, but it works a lot on project management. How do we dictate everything that's in our life to figure out what's most important and what's not at that certain time period. It also teaches them how to work with other people. But I think Isabella did a good job of bringing awareness through the lower school and the upper school as far as what she was doing and how to incorporate the community giving and the community service aspect.
And I think all young people need to do something like that to, help them grow as a person and to help our organizations. But she learned quite a good bit from it. She's learned to interact with people, our family, friends. She's easy to get along with. She would help anybody. I mean, do whatever needs to be done, whether it's help or achieving their goals.
The first time I met Isabella the first time I remember is when we were doing the pageant for ALA, and I was really nervous, and I just had no idea what I was doing. And she just taught me how to walk, and she was just laughing and making me laugh and just making me not nervous and telling me I was doing good. And I just remember her just being such a cool, kind person. She knows how to make people feel good and how to uplift them and be kind.
She's made friends with a lot of different students across our campus, even students who were in special ed.
So Night to Shine is a prom for special needs adults and students. They may not experience that in the schools that they go to. So we try to make them feel special and feel loved and appreciated. We have a red carpet that they can walk on and everyone cheers for them. They get to have hair and makeup and a limo ride, and then we have a formal dinner, and then we all go on the dance floor and just have the best time ever. They are the sweetest people ever you will ever meet.
She just has a passion for that. Some people find that interaction awkward, but she doesn't. It's just natural for her, and she embraces it.
A lot of people look at them differently for maybe the way they look or maybe the way they talk. But we are all God's children, and what our looks or our speech or how we think doesn't define that.
I think she's been a really good influence on others, whether it be her friends or people she just goes to school with that knows her. I think she's set an example. And I just see her growing even more, as an adult and being a good, responsible citizen of the United States.
Having a school that prioritizes character education, like I said, going back to those RAISE principles, but even then, any school should be doing this, where we're teaching our students to learn how to, one, love each other, to be kind to each other, to be respectful, to not steal, to not cheat, to do things that are character building. So things that not only a student can just learn at school, but can take those things out into the real world.
Dual enrollment is a big thing. We are connected with Midlands, so I can take college courses throughout my high school years to get me prepared, and I'll have those credits finished by the time I get to actual college. The student services is also working with us to help us with our college applications and provide lots of opportunities for scholarships.
ALA has created an environment to where students want to get better. You realize how willing people are to help you and how they want to help you, and it just motivates you to want to become a better person and be the best you can be and just be a good leader overall.
Isabella won our Patriot Award last year, and the Patriot Award was something that we'd obviously never done before since it was our first year, but it was the most important award, I think, that we gave out, because it's not just a student who is academic driven. It's not just a student who is respectful or a student who has a lot of school pride. It's the well-rounded student that really is the face of ALA. She is always positive. She is always supportive. She's the one that does the work behind the scenes, that has the difficult conversations. And that is really who we were looking for the Patriot Award.
And so the community sees students who, one, are excellent in education, who have good character skills, who have good people skills. And so they look at those when it comes to hiring. They look at those kind of skills when it comes to having them on a team, because teams are a big thing, and you have to have a solid team in order to accomplish good things. And so outside people look at those character development skills, the character education part, as a big thing, because they want the next generation of leaders and workers to make a positive impact, to do what's right, to stand on firm ground and have integrity, have ambition, have drive, and have discipline. And those are things that we have to teach in schools. And if we don't, we're going to lose this generation of young people, and we have to. It is paramount that we teach these things and grow the next generation into becoming good, strong leaders that also have character.
You know, a lot of people say that we're a patriotic school. Well, we are a patriotic school, but we use that patriotism to create honor, because we think it's super important to be able to honor sacred things. The other aspect of being able to truly fit in the world today of conflict and of fear and of doubt is to be able to have great expectations for kids. What I found when I was a principal of a school, one of our schools, it was a struggle as we started our first year to be able to have kids from all different schools come into one area and to be able to have them now part of a family. It was tough at first, but what I found was that about halfway through the year, I was in the hallway and I was listening to two kids talk. And one of the kids said to the other, "We don't do that here." The children liked the environment so much that they wanted to protect it. They wanted to be part of a school that was safe and clean and moral and wholesome.
Instead of it being something abnormal to have the morals and to have those kind of things in play, it becomes normal. And it's something that I think will benefit the community in great ways, because one of the foundational pieces of the American Leadership Academy is servant leadership. But it is, as a leader, what can I do for you? And that is something that I see in Isabella. That's something that I see in Eli. And I applaud the fact that ALA has stood and said, this is the trademark that we want to have. This is the watermark that we want to leave on the community around us. And as we get more and more kids through this type of program, whether it's here or whether it's in other campuses of ALA, I think you're going to see a widening impact, a bigger footprint as we get into years and even decades from now.
So I would like to go to the University of South Carolina and major in special education. I've always had a special place in my heart for special needs adults and children. I grew up with a family member that has special needs, and I saw how people looked at him differently and treated him differently. And I want to be that person that teaches the students how to get a job, how to almost foundation their life and make them not think that they are any different than we are.
I think there's no accident in her being elected as our student body president, because I think she does embody what we want all of our students to leave our doors here at American Leadership Academy, being able to go out into the world and not only be prepared academically, but be prepared as a person, as a whole person who can go out and serve the world and change the world.
A while ago, I quit asking kids, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And instead start asking them, who were you created to be? Because I think that each of our students were born with very unique talents and skills. And so I want to, as an educator, try and bring those out and shine a light on them so that they do discover who they were created to be and what they would be good at doing in life.
What amazed me, and I don't really remember the exact conversation, but what I took away from it as a young, still almost toddler, she understood while she was here with us. Almost made me cry, but I think she understood at a very young age what, why she was here and why she was adopted. That's what has amazed me for many, many years now. She understands how God works. I mean, God controls everything. He does everything for us. And that's what I'm proud of. I mean, she's a true believer in the Lord.
I'm contestant number 15, and I'm Isabella Walker. Well, I am living the American dream. Had I not been adopted at 9 months old from Guatemala, I would most likely be working to support myself without an education. Here in America, I have a loving family, supportive school system, and endless opportunities to become who God created me to be. That is the American dream.
The board and I, we are very excited about ALA, about its creation here. You know, it's taken a while for us to get here, and we've had a lot of good members as stakeholders, people who've helped us along the way. As a board, we're really excited that obviously we have 7 more charters approved around the state, and we're really excited to expand this across our state for the sole purpose of getting our mission and our principles out there so people can see how excellent the work that we do at ALA is and how imperative it is that we need to pass that on around the state.
And I consider us a family as we're trying to bless the lives of families and be able to give kids choice, to be able to give families choice. South Carolina needs that. When Governor McMaster's talked to us, he told us the same thing and said, after he toured our schools and looked at what we were doing, he said, we need more of this in South Carolina. And the partnership between Institute and Charter One is the perfect combination to really bring real change to education and to really be able to transform education and transform choice into something that families really need.
Our vision here at ALA is to support as many students as possible and partner with our parents. The fact that she chose to be here and that her parents supported her, I think that really emphasizes of why we're here. We're here because the community had a need, and students like Isabella had a need and a want for us to be here.
I'm super thankful that American Leadership Academy was built and I was able and given the opportunity to go there. So I would like to say thank you to all the directors and teachers that built my life up and made me who I am today.